Picture an 80-year-old. In your mind, what do their teeth look like? For a lot of us in the West, the honest answer is dentures in a glass on the nightstand. We've come to treat losing your teeth as just another thing that happens when you get old, something inevitable, a bill that comes due eventually, whether you like it or not. Now go to Japan, sit across from someone in their 80s, and watch them eat. Watch them bite into something firm, chew it without a second thought, laugh with a full mouth of their own teeth. Over there, it isn't rare. It's normal. Let me be straight with you from the start because most videos won't bother. Not every Japanese 80-year-old has a perfect, complete set of teeth. That would be an exaggeration, and you deserve the truth instead of a fairy tale. What's actually happening is more interesting than that. An enormous number of older people in Japan keep most of their own natural teeth deep into old age, far more than you'd expect, and far more than in most of the West. And it isn't luck, and it isn't some special genetics handed down through the generations. It's the result of a handful of everyday habits and one remarkable national decision that you can start borrowing today. In fact, Japan did something almost no other country ever did. They set a target, a specific number, and they got the entire country chasing it. I'll tell you exactly what that number is in just a moment, and it might quietly change the way you think about your own mouth for the rest of your life. Today, I'm going to walk you through 7 reasons older Japanese people hold on to their teeth, while so many of us slowly lose ours. None of this requires anything exotic. No expensive gadget, no secret product, no trip across the world. And stay with me until number 5, because it is the one that has nothing to do with brushing at all. It's the habit most people never connect to their teeth, and it might be the single most important one on this entire list. At the very end, I'll give you a simple 10-second test you can do tonight to see how your own gums are really doing. Let's begin. Number 1. An entire nation decided to keep its teeth on purpose. Here's the number I promised you: 80-20. In Japan, it's known as the 8020 movement. And the goal behind it is beautifully simple: to still have at least 20 of your own natural teeth by the time you reach 80 years old. Now think about how unusual that really is. Decades ago, the country looked at how many older people were losing their teeth, and instead of shrugging and accepting it, made keeping them a national mission. Dentists rallied behind it. Public health campaigns pushed it everywhere. And the number itself, 80 and 20, became something ordinary people actually knew and aimed for. The same way you might know a healthy target for your blood pressure or a daily goal for your steps. And here's the part that genuinely matters: it worked. When the campaign first began, only a tiny fraction of people anywhere near 80 still had 20 of their own teeth. Today, a huge share of them do. The figure climbed dramatically over the years. A goal that once seemed almost impossible turned into something close to half the population could actually reach. So why does a simple number matter so much? Because what gets measured gets done. The moment keeping your teeth stopped being a vague hope and became a concrete named target, people started treating their mouths like something genuinely worth protecting for the long haul, instead of something you only deal with once it breaks. Here's the shift: you don't need a government campaign behind you. You need your own personal 8020. Decide right now that you fully intend to keep your own natural teeth for life, not simply react to problems as they pop up. That one change in mindset is the soil that every other habit on this list grows out of. Number 2, they visit the dentist long before anything hurts. In much of the West, here's the familiar pattern. You go to the dentist when something is already wrong: a toothache, a chip, a throb that won't quit and keeps you up at night. The dentist becomes the person you see in an emergency, the one who patches up the disaster after it has already happened. In Japan, that whole relationship is flipped around. Regular visits aren't about reacting to pain. They're about stopping the pain before it ever has a chance to start. People go in for routine cleanings, to have the hardened buildup carefully scraped away, to catch the small problems while they're still small, still cheap, and still painless to deal with. And this single difference changes everything, because almost all of the damage that eventually costs you a tooth builds up silently, with no warning at all. The hard tartar that forms along the gum line, the early gum inflammation, the tiny cavity you can't feel yet. None of it announces itself. By the time it actually starts to hurt, the damage is often already well along its way. A professional cleaning clears out the buildup your toothbrush simply cannot reach, and a trained eye spots trouble years before you ever could on your own. Waiting for pain before you act is like never checking your car until the engine seizes up on the highway. By then, the cheap and easy fix is long gone, and you're staring down a full replacement. Here's the shift. Stop thinking of the dentist as the emergency room for your mouth. Book a routine cleaning even when nothing hurts, and especially when nothing hurts. The problems that quietly take your teeth are the painless ones. And the only way to catch a quiet problem is to go looking for it before it ever gets loud. Number 3. They sip green tea all day, the way much of the West sips soda. Think for a second about what people drink throughout an ordinary day in the West: soda, sweetened coffee, energy drinks, juice, one sugary, acidic drink after another, each one bathing the teeth in precisely the things that destroy them, hour after hour after hour. In Japan, the everyday drink is green tea, all day long, with meals, between meals, at work, at home, at rest. And green tea is just about the polar opposite of soda for your mouth. There's no sugar in it, and it carries natural compounds that actively work in your favor, with mild antibacterial properties that push back against the very bacteria that drive tooth decay and gum trouble in the first place. Now picture the 2 days side by side honestly. One mouth gets several sugar baths a day, every single one of them feeding the bacteria that eat away at the enamel. The other mouth gets a steady, gentle wash of unsweetened tea that helps hold those same bacteria in check. Now repeat that difference across an entire lifetime, every day for decades on end, and you can start to see exactly why one set of teeth quietly lasts while the other slowly crumbles away. It's not that green tea is some magic cure that rescues your teeth. It's that it quietly replaces the single most destructive habit most of us never even stop to think about, which is the constant, all-day sipping of sugar. Here's the shift. Take a hard, honest look at what you drink between your meals, because that's where so much of the damage quietly hides. Swapping even a couple of your daily sugary drinks for unsweetened tea or plain water takes away the steady stream of sugar your teeth are constantly fighting and gives them long, peaceful stretches of the day to simply recover. Number 4, they eat food that actually makes them work for it. So much of the modern Western diet is soft, processed, refined, easy to chew, swallowed and gone in just a few bites. Soft bread, fast food, sweets, things engineered to practically dissolve in your mouth on their own. And that softness carries a hidden cost almost nobody ever stops to consider. The traditional Japanese diet, on the other hand, is full of foods that genuinely demand chewing. Crunchy vegetables, firmer textures, things you actually have to break down with your teeth before you can swallow them. And here's why that quietly protects your teeth over a lifetime. When you chew and really chew, your mouth produces saliva, and saliva is your body's own built in defense system for your teeth. It washes away leftover food particles, it neutralizes the acids that wear down your enamel, and it carries the very minerals that help keep your teeth strong and rebuild them day to day. A diet of soft, mushy, heavily processed food barely gets that whole system moving at all. A diet that makes you chew switches it on at every single meal. Your mouth is designed to do a little work, and when it does, it cleans and protects itself in the process, completely for free. There's a real reason researchers in Japan have taken such serious interest in chewing and the way it ties into staying healthy as we age. It is not a small or silly thing. It's a daily natural line of defense that most of us have accidentally switched off simply by eating food that asks absolutely nothing of our teeth. Here's the shift: add more foods that genuinely make you chew. Crisp vegetables, firmer and less processed options, things with real texture. Every proper chew floods your mouth with the saliva that cleans and remineralizes your teeth at no cost at all. Soft food is easy, no question. But easy isn't always the same thing as what your body actually needs. Number 5. This is the one I promised you, and it has nothing to do with the teeth themselves. When most of us think about losing our teeth, we picture cavities, holes rotting through the teeth, and so we pour all of our attention onto the teeth themselves, scrubbing the surfaces, fighting the decay we can see. But here is the truth that genuinely surprises almost everyone who hears it. In adults, the number one reason teeth are lost is not cavities at all. It's the gums. It's gum disease. The slow, often completely painless breakdown of the very foundation that holds your teeth in place. You can have perfectly healthy looking teeth and still lose them because the gum and the bone anchoring those teeth quietly gives way underneath them. The tooth itself doesn't rot away. It loosens, it starts to wobble, and eventually it's gone for good. And this is exactly where Japanese dental habits really start to pay off. That whole culture of regular professional cleaning, of scraping away the hardened buildup right along the gum line, of catching inflammation early before it spreads. All of that is gum care. The 8020 push was never really about chasing white, pretty, picture perfect teeth. It's about protecting the living foundation underneath them. So the teeth always have something solid to hold on to for 80 years and well beyond. Most people brush their teeth and completely ignore their gums. They never clean carefully along the gum line. They never deal with the buildup that triggers the inflammation in the first place. And then they're genuinely shocked decades later when a perfectly solid looking tooth suddenly starts to wobble loose. Here's the shift: start treating your gums as the real prize, because they are. Clean gently along the gum line, not just across the flat tops of your teeth. Clean between your teeth, where the trouble quietly starts and where an ordinary brush simply cannot reach. Healthy gums are the thing that keeps your teeth in your head, and almost nobody is giving them even a fraction of the attention they truly deserve. Number 6, they give their mouth real time to recover. Here's a habit that has become almost completely invisible in the West: grazing. A little snack mid-morning, a nibble of something in the afternoon, something sweet during the evening shows. A bit here, a bit there, trickling in all day long. It feels totally harmless. For your teeth, it is anything but harmless. Every single time you eat, and especially anything sugary or starchy, the bacteria living in your mouth produce acid, and that acid immediately goes to work attacking your enamel. After you finish eating, it takes real time for your mouth to recover, and slowly neutralize all of that acid. But if you're snacking every hour or two throughout the day, that recovery never actually gets the chance to happen. Your teeth are left sitting in a low, constant acid bath from morning to night, with no real opportunity to heal in between. Traditional Japanese eating tends to lean far more toward proper, structured meals, and far less toward constant grazing between them. Fewer separate eating occasions means fewer acid attacks across the day. And just as importantly, it means long, valuable stretches in between meals where the mouth can finally reset itself, rebalance, and let that protective saliva do its slow repair work undisturbed. It turns out that it isn't only how much sugar you eat that matters for your teeth, it's how often you eat it. 10 small sugary snacks scattered across a single day can actually do more harm than the very same amount of sugar eaten all at once, simply because each separate snack restarts the entire acid attack from the beginning. Here's the shift. Try hard to keep your eating to actual meals and give your mouth genuine, uninterrupted breaks in between them. Every single time you reach for another snack, you're starting that acid clock all over again from zero. Fewer restarts means far more time for your teeth to recover and stretched out across a whole lifetime. That quiet recovery time turns out to be everything. Number 7, they simply expect to grow old with their own teeth. There's a quiet, unspoken belief baked deep into a lot of Western life that losing your teeth is just a natural part of getting old. Our grandparents had dentures, so somewhere in the back of our minds, we assume that we'll eventually need them too. We treat it as the natural end of the road, an unavoidable destination. And here's the trap. When you genuinely believe something is inevitable, you quietly stop fighting it. Why would you bother protecting something you've already decided deep down that you're going to lose anyway? In Japan, that underlying expectation is completely different. Keeping your own natural teeth into old age isn't seen as some rare and lucky exception to the rule. It's the goal, the normal stated aim, the very thing the entire 8020 idea is built around. And when keeping your teeth is the open expectation rather than a long shot, you start behaving in a completely different way. You protect them. You maintain them carefully. You treat them as something that's meant to last an entire lifetime, precisely because you fully intend for them to do exactly that. And here's why this reaches so far beyond just your smile. Your teeth are how you eat. Keeping your own natural teeth deep into old age means you can keep chewing a full, varied, properly nourishing diet, and that ripples outward into your whole body and your overall health as you age. There's a genuine reason researchers connect the number of teeth a person manages to keep with how well they age overall. Your mouth was never separate from the rest of you. It's the front door to absolutely everything you eat. Here's the shift. Let go of the old belief that losing your teeth is simply your fate. For most people, it truly isn't. The very moment you decide that your own teeth are meant to last your entire life, you quietly start treating them that way. And that single expectation ends up driving every good habit that keeps them right where they belong. So let's pull this all together. Because by now you can probably feel the single pattern running underneath all 7 of these. There's no miracle here. No secret ingredient. No magic rinse you've never heard of. Look back over the whole list, and what you actually find is one simple idea woven through every single point. Protect your teeth and your gums for the long haul every day before anything ever goes wrong. A national goal that made keeping your own teeth feel normal. Dentist visits designed to prevent instead of repair. Unsweetened tea instead of constant sugar. Food that genuinely makes you chew. Gums treated as the real foundation that they are. proper meals instead of endless all-day grazing. And underneath all of it, the simple but powerful expectation that your own teeth are meant to last you a lifetime. The reason so many of us lose our teeth while so many older Japanese people keep theirs isn't bad luck or unlucky genes. It's that we wait around for pain before we act. We quietly feed the problem all day long, and somewhere along the way, we simply decided that losing them was inevitable. None of that is actually fate. Every bit of it is a habit, and habits can be changed starting today. So here's the simple test I promised you, and it takes about 10 seconds. The very next time you brush, look closely at your gums and pay real attention when you clean along the gum line and gently between your teeth. Do you see any pink in the sink? Any bleeding at all? Because here's what almost nobody seems to know. Gums that bleed easily are not normal, and they are definitely not nothing. That bleeding is one of the very first warning signs of the gum inflammation that, left ignored for years, becomes the leading reason adults lose their teeth in the first place. Healthy gums generally don't bleed when you clean them properly. So if you did see pink tonight, that is not a reason to brush less or to start avoiding the area. It's the exact opposite. It's your earliest possible warning to start giving that gum line more attention, and a very good reason to finally book that preventive cleaning you've probably been putting off. Now, I genuinely want to hear from you. Out of these 7, which one are you going to start with first? Tell me the number down in the comments, anywhere from 1 to 7, and let's keep each other honest about actually following through on it. And if you've got a parent, a grandparent, or a friend who has always just quietly assumed that losing their teeth was simply a part of getting older, please share this with them. Because it really doesn't have to be that way. The teeth you have in your mouth right now can last you a very, very long time. But only if you decide, starting today, that they are genuinely worth protecting. I'll see you in the next one.